Welcome to Jade Capital Partners End of Week webinar. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you for joining me. To open the week end wrap up webinar, views the US dollar index, and as you can see that since the break of the uptrend, a bearish gravestone doji further follow on now looks towards an objective from the break of 97.5 to 96.20. Now I am a little bit cautious of giving this call due to the fact that the market is now clearly unwound from an overbought situation, and now we're getting close to near enough relative levels that could look for a correction to the upside. Therefore, I'm a little bit cautious in giving the call towards 96.20. I'm not fully confident that we will see this fall continue on since the rejection of 99.00. So let's see in the next 24 hours how the market pans out, especially with non-farm payrolls out tonight. This could actually shift the sentiment to a slightly bullish stance, but nevertheless we are still currently in a negative sentiment. And what is interesting, we have no trend to this down move. This is partly the reason why I feel that the market's not too far away from turning around. So what does this mean for the other currencies? Well, the Australian dollar holding above that support of 75.85 for this week, surges to the upside and now threatens towards that resistance around 76.90 to 77.40. As I have mentioned before in the past, towards 77 and above, the market clearly fouls with the stab formation, a bearish outside range day 4 times. I still feel that the market is going to struggle again towards this region. While we remain under 77.40, the overall outlook holds to 76.40 to 75.80 and then 75 cents. This is a broader term view. However, in the interim, if we see a break above 77.40, would give further concern and may actually see an impulse up towards 78 to 78.5 cents. But as I mentioned before, the likelihood of this is very slim due to the fact of how the market has performed above 77 cents and failed. The euro at the beginning of the week, I was a little bit cautious due to the fact that if you look firstly at the dollar index, overbought, breaking the trend and falling away, is that when you look at the euro, the market was oversold, staged a recovery, and the bull implications came through eventually. There is a downtrend coming in at the moment, which holds roughly around 1164. And also there is resistance, which has held twice now in the last 48 hours, around 111.20.35. In light of the 4-hour pattern, weakness should emerge and look back towards that 110.55 level, which is currently holding as a short-term support. We need this level to give way to expose the weakness back towards 108. The longer we remain above 110.55, heightens the fact that we could see a break above 111.35 and on towards 112.15.45, taking out that downtrend and probably poses a false break, and then eventually see the market retreat from the highs of 112.15.45 and eventually see this all the gains given back and look back towards that 108. So this to me in the short term is a one-off move to the upside and then lower. Dollar yen, further concerns are arising due to the fact that we broke the uptrend 104, 20, 40. And then yesterday briefly looked under 102.70, getting to a 56 low before rebounding back towards current levels. The dailies are still weak, but there's no trend. So we could see a break to the downside. Whether or not the 101.0530 objective, if the breach of 70 is confirmed, will be reached. However, the supports that come into the downside are, of course, 102.70, then below that 101.90, then the objective of 101.0530, which should display demand and eventually see a recovery from there. I'm not overly bullish on dollar yen, but however, the market is still determined to push towards this region of 102.70, and we could actually see that fall a little bit lower. But I expect to see demand to return, and the bulls will take the market back and recapture the upside and look towards 103.55 and then higher up towards 105 to 106. Sterling, very, very impressive rally overnight as it puts in a stellar performance and breaks through resistances towards 124 and now looking towards that downtrend at 124.90 figure. In light of the current pattern, I feel the market is nearly at the end of its rally, and I expect to see a retreat from that 124.90 to 125.00 and look back towards the downside. Now it needs to break beneath 123.90 to get that move lower to the 120 region. I feel this is just a one-off impulse. Reason behind it is the fact that on that flash crash, all the longs were taken out. So on the flip side, what do you have? A market that's short, and that's all you're seeing, and that's all you've seen at the moment is short covering, the market slowly taking back its short position. We could see a break above 124.90 figure. If so, then that would inject further momentum up towards a potential target of 126.40, which is where I've highlighted here, but it's unlikely. I think this is the last step to the strong sterling and weaker dollar, and I expect to see eventually market turn away from this region, short start accumulating, and then see a move back towards that 120.40.60 target, which was the recent lows twice here. An impressive rally in gold since it's managed to hold above that 1260 support, with the resistance taken out this week at 1284. Gives further scope to the upside, however, now challenging this level around 1,304 to 306. While we maintain underneath that level, then we should see a return of supply and see the market ease away from that 1304.06 level and look back towards 1286 to 1279. And it is from 1279 that if we get a break, we could see further downside potential towards that 1260 established base. However, if we get a break above 1306, this would inject further momentum and further short covering and see a rally on towards 1312 to a possible 1324 top before turning around. But this looks unlikely at this stage, considering the histogram in the MACD is showing little momentum. My view in oil has reached its target and may look for the second target of $43 after breaking beneath 46 2 days ago. In light of this downtrend, it's still holding, as you can see by the ADX. However, we are getting a little bit oversold here, like before back here. Although I'm calling $43 a target, I'm a little bit dubious that it will be reached, and may even probably just get down to about 44, 44.5. However, that's where I view the base for the short term. Any advances towards the upside in the coming hours or days should find resistance between 46.20 to 47.20. Overall, I'm still bearish and expect to see this target reached. Upon $43, I go neutral and I reassess and see where the market can turn next. Just to finish up with the S&P, I've maintained a bearish view since the market established this downtrend And you can see here that the resistance currently holds around 21.52 comfortably. And for the week, we've just moved south. On a daily, still looks like we can fall further. However, I'm getting a little bit cautious. My target for this week was 2098. We've achieved that. My next target is 2070. Reassess from there, as we could even be looking down towards 1980. The trend is coming in, a stochastic that's very weak, and a histogram that's declining does put further emphasis to the downside, but we need to see a move under 2070. In saying that, a close on the week under 2070 would conclude the move to the downside and look for that objective, which is around 1980 to about 85. Any advances, I'll be looking to see fresh supply coming in towards 21.25 and to 21.35. And to wrap up with the ASX 200, very bearish. The market takes out level after level after level. And as you can see here, the first level was at 53.70. The second level was at 52.70. Now the third level is at 51.5. Around that 51.40.60 might find support. It did before. But if we break beneath 51.40, I see little support coming in until 50.40, another 100 points down. And as you can see on the dailies, a very strong trend coming in here, as you can see, as the decline continues. We are getting a little oversold, so we could hold potentially above that 51.40 and see an impulse back up towards 52.30, but above there, I expect to see supply to come back in. That wraps it up for my end of week webinar. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a great day and enjoy the weekend that's about to begin.